Everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. So we're here in the holiday season, and one of the really interesting things about this is the development of Gotham Knights, for the most part, is now suspended in a sense. And when I say that, it's not because anything has gone wrong. The developers themselves are supposedly on holidays for about 2 weeks. So that development cycle from Warner Brothers Games Montreal is more than likely in a place where everybody has, had to shut their computers down and go home. Now, this doesn't mean that some developers are probably not going to be working in their own spare time, in their own personal time to make sure that parts of their work receives some more polish. But one thing I always say is it's nice to take a break, and I'm a workaholic myself. Some of you may or may not know this is my second YouTube channel, and I try my best to post very frequently across both my channels, and I also maintain a full-time job and a family. So from one workaholic to some of the other game dev workaholics, I feel your pain, but you got to take a break, and everybody knows that this is the healthy thing to do. But even with all of this, we got some news that there's going to be a Gotham Knights TV show. It's supposed to be some TV series, and I think the executive producers are those who, or some of those who worked on the Batwoman TV show. Now, I've never watched the Batwoman TV series. I've not even seen an episode on it, and I don't know exactly what to take away from it. In fact, Batwoman is not a character that I really care about. My favorite character among some of the proteges of Batman is Batgirl and Red Hood. These are two of my favorites. So Batwoman is not necessarily on my radar because she really isn't a protege anyways of Batman. So this is one of the reasons that I've not necessarily paid attention. Now, I'm also not aware of the press and the coverage that Batwoman has received online from the community of people who actually engage in DC live action TV series or movies, and I do know that it's been negative. I've heard a lot about its ratings being somewhat bad and all of that stuff, but nonetheless, I think that is quite subjective because I didn't watch it myself, so I cannot make that judgment on that particular aspect of things. So I guess if I'm ever interested, I'll probably watch it, but it's highly unlikely because I prefer to watch the animated series, and me just getting my HBO Max fix on, there are a lot of animated shows for Batman and the Justice League that I still need to watch or rewatch, and so that's probably not going to happen. Now, what are my thoughts, though, on this Gotham Knights live-action TV series or whatever it is that's been greenlit? I think it's something that, because we're talking about the Gotham Knights game, we have to take a look at and basically analyze some of the things that we know. Now, also keep in mind that so far, what the word on the streets is there will be almost no relationship between the game and the TV series. Now, I don't think that's necessarily true. I think there will be some kind of a depiction of what it is the writers want to do on the live action series and some of the things we get to see in the game. In fact, I'll give it to you straight and clear from the color scheme. I think that this live action series is actually focused on Barbara Gordon. It's going to be very focused on Batgirl. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to quickly take a stab at another character that they can try to maybe bring out that appeals to a wider audience, and most likely use Batgirl as it. Now, how do you know? If you look at the art, it's very telling that this is kind of what it is that they want to do. If you think about it, I mean, I just looked at the color scheme and I said to myself, yeah, that is so Barbara Gordon-esque that if you were to kind of chalk it up and see the way the name of the whole show has been written, you basically look and say, I see. And this is exactly what it is that they're trying to, basically get their hands on. And I thought it was quite interesting nonetheless. I mean, I would say they should give it a shot. Maybe the Batwoman stint and the way that it was depicted across the board was probably not necessarily the best in terms of the way they wrote the TV series, and may not have necessarily been the best in terms of what worked out for the audience members. And so I guess that's one way you can actually picture it. You can basically chalk it up to that. But other than that, though, I think they really have to bring their game, because now they're stepping away from a somewhat unknown character to a character that's very well known and very well loved. So I think their criticism is probably going to be a lot more harsh and a lot more scrutinizing than what they saw with Batwoman, because now it's a whole lot of other people that will be coming in to kind of explore what this show is about. Now, I do know as well that many gamers will more than likely not touch this particular TV show. It is what it is. As I said, I haven't seen a lot of the live action TV shows. Even for me, when they did the Green Arrow TV show, I think I stopped short of season 2 with Green Arrow on CW. And I just told myself that I didn't think I wanted to keep watching it, because at the end of the day, what I've noticed is the way the superheroes are depicted in the animation series or the animated series and in video games, there is so much more freedom and leeway to continue to build fantasy compared to, say, if you were talking about a live action movie. A live action movie, you really have to write drama and you have to develop characters in a different way than you will. Say, you throw a situation where Batman is just basically, throwing hands with Superman for a few seconds. You could do some really cool stuff in a video game setting or even in a in an animated series setting. But in a real life setting, you really have to have some really solid, expensive production to be able to pull something like that off in a way that is entertaining and believable, in a way that can catch fans. In fact, one very interesting depiction of something of that nature, is something that we got to see in the Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice movie. And this was the warehouse scene where Batman goes in to go and save, Martha Kent. And in that scene, they do all kinds of really cool, fun stuff that was an homage to the Arkham fans. And that was a really big deal. But something like that, you would necessarily not just see it in a TV series. I mean, you need to hire yourself a very good sound, engineer and sound team, and a really good VFX team, and a really good cinematic team. And then you got to throw Hans Zimmer to make it even much better and sell it. And this is not something that you're going to be seeing in a lot of the TV shows. But it's quite interesting nonetheless. Like I've said, we have to keep an eye to see exactly what it is the producers are trying to do with this. And even though, like many have said, it's not going to be related to the game, I strongly believe that we're probably going to see some similar themes just because of some of the things that already we've started to take a look at. Because yes, they're going to go through the comics, they're going to take stories and take plot lines from literature that's available. But when I looked at the color scheme for Gotham Knights, it was literally purple and yellow. I mean, I said to myself, really, purple and yellow? That's my sister right there, man. That's Barbara right there. I mean, there's no way you can chalk that up. She does rock purple and yellow. That's definitely something that is, in my opinion anyways, somewhat signature of one of her, costumes. But again, I don't want to go off of just one little, picture, but I do think strongly that they're already signaling because they probably want to attract the fans of this game. The fans of this game are already really solid. I think that's probably what it speaks to more than anything else. But I'll get out of your hair. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. If at any point you've enjoyed the content or you want to engage, go ahead and comment. You can subscribe. You can do whatever you want. You can even tell me, how I can improve on bringing content to you guys, or you can even make content suggestions. That's something I really love doing as well. Thanks so much for your time and audience. I appreciate you guys so much. Hopefully we'll talk in another video. Peace out.